We're gonna go. We're gonna explain a little bit how today will be in the next weeks too. Then we're gonna do a little practice, and then we're gonna jump into explaining a little bit of what mindfulness meditation practice is. Then we'll do a 25-minute sitting practice, and after that you'll have like 5-minute break if you need to, or you may continue practicing, and then we'll have questions and answers, and we should be finishing by 2:45. You may continue sitting here if you want to and wait for the next class at 3 o'clock. That's what is so nice about this day, that you could continue practicing with the next of the group. You don't need to get off from the chair that you are. Just allow the 3 o'clock group to join and continue. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate your sharing, and also the reminder that part of our practice is also creating community, as we're doing here, as we're sharing, getting to know. And that community helps us to remind our intention, but also support us or practice to come back to the present moment, to be here where we want to be, where we have chosen to be. And so hopefully together we'll support each other and remind us, hey, we're here. This is the intention that brought us here. But then leave the intentions on the side and just simply enjoy this moment that we're given to our body, our minds. So that's yeah. So thank you. We will offer you after today the opportunity to practice with one another. We'll create maybe groups of 3 or 4. We'll figure out depending on how many participants, and suggest that you meet on your own once a week. Maybe 15 to 30 minutes to practice what we learned today, and to support each other. So we'll send you the instructions by email. It's optional, but we do encourage you that you do take that opportunity for you to come together and practice. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and from what we've learned, some of you, if you're come together already, so you already have a partner, a practice buddy. So that's a good start. And and we encourage you, again, it's optional. If you want to buddy up with someone, whether to practice together somewhere at someone's home or here. There's opportunities here as well on Monday night with Franz, Wednesday on Zoom with Brad. But really just to you just think about the investment that you've made. Not just financially, but that your time and your resolve. You resolve to learn something and practice something, put it into practice. It's not just hearing and taking notes and writing this, but really to put it into practice is the important part. So we really encourage you to, like I mentioned, there's a few of you here come together as partners. So keep that for these next 5 weeks. Use practice together, even if you can't practice together. But set a time. Okay, when is good for you? When is good for you? In the morning, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. In the afternoon, 3. Settle on that. Text each other. All this way of communicating now. Hey, are you ready? One of us might be like, oh man, okay, or we might be, no, I can't right now. What about in a half hour? Sure, but just really to support each other, to reminders, to remind our partners, our buddies, to continue to practice, just for this 5 weeks even. After this 5 weeks, you might go like, that was a bunch of nonsense. I want nothing to do with that. But for this 5 weeks, like I mentioned, you've made a commitment, to yourself, and a resolve. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of that. So, and as I mentioned, there's programs here. Monday night with Franz, in person and online, I believe, right, as well. And then on Wednesday night, there's Brad, online only. So how wonderful! We don't have to leave our house. We can just practice at home. We can even turn the video off. Maybe we'll fall asleep while everybody's meditating. But at least we're getting to know ourselves. We're getting to know how we kind of get around things. So that's wonderful. And say like, if we do something like that, it'd be like, that's interesting. Who am I fooling? We're not fooling anybody but ourselves. So really take advantage of this opportunity. So I'll speak a little bit about the structure of the course for the next these 5 Sundays. Today, the focus is on the mindfulness of breath, the mindfulness of the breathing, which is very fundamental. If you, those of you who have a meditation practice, those of you who don't, or just learning, of fundamental practice and technique and method to use for mindfulness and meditation is the breath. The breath, the mindfulness of breath. So this is what we'll focus on today, on today's class, and Rosa Maria will give us some instructions on that, some advice on that, and techniques, on the breath. And then the next week, it'll be the body, the mindfulness of the body. So the focus will be on the body, the physical body, to help us train in mindfulness of body, and that will be Rosa Maria as well. I'll be here hanging around and learning. And then the third week will be the mindfulness of thoughts in mind. And the focus is on mindfulness, again, this technique to keep us present, but also awareness, mindfulness and awareness. And awareness is, they also call it insight meditation or vipassana. Some of you might be familiar with that. So it's insight. So now, with mindfulness, once we've trained to kind of to stabilize the mind, because at first we're going to see the mind going all over the place. Once we've learned to stabilize the mind, we shift into an awareness, insight meditation. This awareness, now we're kind of expanding a bit from the concentration practice and training and staying. We're expanding it now with the awareness practice and insight meditation to look at the content of the mind, to see what's happening, what's going on. So that'll be class 3, and then class 4 will be mindfulness of emotions. And again, that'll be just now, the more we develop this mindfulness, we begin to explore ourselves and see how things are functioning, how we function, what triggers us, see emotions, just looking at how we function, how our emotions, where do they take us? Do they take us places we don't want to go? Or are we able to work with them and just see them for what they are? So that'll be the focus of that. And then the last class will be, we call it here, mindfulness in action. So this is cultivating an open heart and open mind, and this will focus on practices that we can do with our meditation practice. Again, our mindfulness practice, developing stability. Okay, now how do I put this into action to be we say have a meaningful life, right? Or fulfilling. I want to do something. I want to help. This is an open heart, an open mind. How do we do this? How can I do this? Just sometimes we think just sitting. What am I doing? Who am I helping? I'm just sitting. Don't just sit there. Do something, right? We say, but sitting can be doing something. Can be doing something because we're working with our mind. So in this class, mindfulness in action, we'll talk about these techniques that we can use. This loving kindness practice, metta practice of meditation, and also this practice called taking and sending that comes from my tradition, Tibetan Buddhism. So this is more now action, more active meditation in sitting. So this will be the focus of that class. We'll talk about that and how to establish a consistent practice and wrap it up. That'll be the last class. So that's what's in store for these next 5 weeks. And I'm really happy to see so many people here, and the folks on Zoom as well. That you took the time to do this, and as I mentioned, take advantage of it. Don't really take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Keep that in mind, that you made an investment, and it's not for me. It's not for Rosa Maria. It's not for Travis or Lami's meditation. This is for you. So take advantage. Take advantage of the opportunity.
Thank you. So let's do a mini practice. I guide you. I'll offer you guidance on that, and just find a comfortable position after this short practice. We'll review what's the position that you should use for this practice. At this moment, just find whatever feels right for you. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do so, or just softening your gaze and gazing down, whatever feels right for you at this moment. Taking a couple of deep breaths together at 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in deep. And release, release, release. Again, together at 3. Breathe in deep. 1, 2, 3. Deep and long. And release slowly, slowly, slowly. Without trying to manipulate the breath, just simply allow the body to find its own rhythm. And bring to mind whatever brought you here today, the reasons or the reason that guide you into signing up to this class. Just awareness of that initial urge or thought that told you to sign up or to get in the car and come here today. Simply acknowledge that reason, and without going to the stories or why or how it happened, just simply recognize that and see if you can connect with the expectations that you have for today or for the course of the next 5 weeks. And sense it in the body. Where do you find that expectation? Noticing how does it feel in your body? To want something. And if you're having difficulty finding that space in the body where that expectation is occupying, it's okay. Just recognizing that you want something is good enough. Allowing the mind to be more aware and connected with the breath now. Leaving the expectation, the reasons why you sign up to this class on the side. Just knowing that they're there. But intentionally giving your full awareness to the breath. The body. And at the count of 3, let's rejoin the group and share our reflections of this moment that we just practiced together. 1, 2, 3. You may open your eyes. Thank you. So I want to offer the opportunity for any of you would like to share how was the experience of this practice, like knowing, recognizing that you want something, that you expect something, and just seeing it and leaving it on the side and focusing on the breath. Or perhaps finding that expectation in the body. Were you aware before? It's the first time that you notice it, that you're making that connection with the wanting and the experience in the body.
Yeah, I'm Joey. So I've been meditating for a while. So usually I use my heart to feel love and kindness. But then my mind will start thinking about all these other things. But because I've been doing this quite a while, I can let it go. But I can't stop the thinking. But I do feel like I've accomplished something because I can let it go better than I used to. I used to just sit in my craziness. And now I can just let it go and allow myself to meditate.
Thank you.
But my mind never really shuts up. Excuse my, it's always going. But I've learned to at least calm it down, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, strangely, usually I carry things in my lower abdomen or my brain if it's going, but when you said that, I felt it almost in my throat and almost my tear ducts, right in my ear, which was a strange, reaction that I had to, the desire to change or...
Holding it. Holding it, grabbing to it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Say, this is something I find often is when thinking about the question, and if I can't find the answer, it's not coming to me, it makes me anxious. So if anything, I feel like my heart beating faster as I'm trying to find the answer and I don't find it.
Thank you. And folks on Zoom, you can just open the mic if you want to share too. So.
I find that my mind wanders, and whatever that random thought is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to let go.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't important, but it seems that way.
Very common.
It's interesting because I have to focus on my breath when I'm meditating, that you also said to focus on the body. And I was like, oh wow, that's really weird. It's like, but there's so much more happening in my body with my breath than what I paid attention to before.
Mm.
Oh, kind of cool.
Go ahead.
So I went home for a little while and started watching football. Then I came back.
Who's winning? Overtime.
I kind of saw you leaving. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Go ahead. Yeah.
I just had similar to someone shared over here that it made me feel very vulnerable to know that there was something I was desiring or looking for, and it came to my throat.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Simone.
Hello again, everyone. So, with my experience, I'm outside in the backyard, and in the beginning, my mind was, of course, running around like a bull. And then after a while, it started to calm, and my body was less tense, and I was able to take in the sounds around me, and it felt as if they were louder than they were before. So I heard dogs barking, people talking. There's a bird on a tree right now. I think it's just tweeting right now, or was tweeting. I heard cars going by, and it felt good to just take in the moment of what's going on around me instead of being so fully immersed in the imaginations of my mind. So that was the experience that I just had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much wisdom, so much wisdom shared just in this moment, and wisdom that and experiences that we all share at different times. Even if you see teachers teaching this class for many years or sitting here, we all have to continuously practice, because our mind is so powerful in getting us distracted, in getting us away from the body. And yet, all our ideas or wantings have so much influence in the body, and even our breath. If we want something and we start getting anxious, we start breathing faster sometimes. If we're enjoying something, then we're really breathing maybe slower. So there's just a lot of relationship between this mind and this body, this breath. But often, we're out there watching football or watching something else, and the body's here, right? So there's this disconnection. And so what we're trying to do is align this mind with this moment. This is like, there's a lot of important things. We haven't paid the bills. We gotta go to the grocery. There's a lot of important things that are going to be happening after this moment. But in this moment, this is the most valuable moment that we have. This is this breath, this body right here. And so even if it's 5 minutes that we dedicate to align this, little by little we begin training the mind. Let me come back here. And that's what we call it practice, because it takes a lot of practice to make that alignment. And so that's what we're hoping to invite you to do, and to inspire you to do, so that you find that intimacy and that connection between this body, this mind, and this breath. And just get to know how you experience, how each of us experience life in different ways in this body.
That's mindfulness. Our heart's always beating, but we don't pay attention. We're caught up in everyday activity or busyness and schedules and thinking about the future, and we're not here. How often are we right now, right here, and listening to our heart? And we could say that the brain, the function of the brain is it's hearing the heart, but sometimes the brain, we say that we're thinking about this and that. So it's, what is it that hears the heart? Is it, this is like what Rosa Maria is talking about, this harmonizing, of the body and the mind, And the brain, our intellect kind of hears it, but our intellect also gets carried away, right? And tries to define it. But just to listen, hear the heart. What is here? Who's hearing the heart? What is hearing the heart? That's an interesting exploration. So before I want this section here, we're going to talk about. I was going to define mindfulness, but before I do that, maybe a few of you can let us know what your thoughts are about mindfulness. What mindfulness is. What do you think that mindfulness is?
Awareness.
Awareness.
Awareness of my thoughts.
Okay.
Feeling.
Being present.
Presence.
Present, yeah.
Presence. Yes.
I think not only awareness, but paying attention. To me, that's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
If you're aware of something, doesn't mean you're paying attention to it. And I think for me personally, that's huge, paying attention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, everyone. As I was listening to, actually before I continued, anyone on Zoom, would you like to share what they think that mindfulness is?
Yeah, I would just add validation, so giving validation to whatever noise or whatever is going on in your mind, to be present.
Thank you. You know, after the meditation that Rosa Maria led, and we were sharing, and I believe it was Simone, right, who was describing really a wonderful description of what was happening right now. The sound, the bird, all of which as she was, harmonizing the body and mind, but also, there was what I loved to hear how her description, there was no tension, just like, okay, I got to do this right, listen to Rosa Maria. She was doing that, but also that opened up, something opened up. And that's mindfulness. Just, this poem I wanted to share really briefly here. This is by Walt Whitman. And it's, I stand and look. He says, I stand and look in the dark under a cloud, but I see in the distance where the sun shines. I see the thin haze on the tall white steeples of the city. I see the glistening of the waters in the distance. This reminded me of what Simone was describing. The first line starts out, I stand and look in the dark under a cloud. And this is how we can experience, right? Just especially something unpleasant, and we get in this kind of dark cloud and kind of close up. But then in this poem, he talks about just noticing. So mindfulness, mindful of what, right? Just mindful of this, just this, and remembering. It's also recollecting. Recollecting what? The past? No, just this. Remember, just this. Here.
A lot of the times now, I appreciate nature so much more.
Yeah.
Because it's like I really look at it.
Yes. Yeah. Nature.
Usually we're just walking or driving by or whatever, and not always, but a lot of the times I will take time to them. Like the flowers behind you, to me they're beautiful. It's like, and I used to love it before, but now I really love it. It's like, it's hard to explain. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just we've become, for just a moment perhaps, untangled like from our the habits of just, as you mentioned, this is one thought and we're just fixating on it. What is mindfulness? That's what mindfulness, we say, put our attention on the breath. Why? Because the breath is a new experience. Every breath is fresh. So that's a fundamental instruction on meditation. And then there's the body. This Rosa Maria was sharing with us and guiding us through. And many of you had this experience of, where was this? Perhaps for the first time you were noticing your body, what's going on in there, and where we're holding tension, where we're holding expectation. So the instruction, the practice is just to notice that. It's like, okay, now what do I do with that? Just notice. But our habit is, I want to fix it. I want to change it. Maybe some of our motivation to come here today is we want to change something. Right? We want to fix something. But we'll discover that just to pay attention to just now, the sounds, We'll develop a practice in a different habit that will help us. If we're just, as I mentioned, we take the time to put it into practice. We're not going to get a result after a 5-day meditation or 5-week meditation course. We have to do it just regularly. Say, do what? Just pay attention, just right now, and now. Hear the car outside, hear the birds chirping, hear the toilet flushing, whatever it is. Just place your attention on now. So the mind is full of just now, the mindfulness of just this ever changing now. There's a quote here, that we put down by John Kabat-Zinn, if you're familiar with him. It says, paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmental. So this is what we're doing. This is what's mindfulness, just without judgment, without preference, just noticing whatever. And it might be easy in nature, right? Pleasant, but when it's unpleasant, can we do that? Can we just pay attention to just right now? It's unpleasant, but can we? And this is what we're building our capacity to just be with whatever is appearing. So for me, this is mindfulness. Can we be mindful stuck in traffic? When we got somewhere to get to. So let's begin learning this mindfulness. I'll pass it over to Rosa Maria, who's going to lead us.
So you can, your position, we suggest that you find the position that will most support your intention to be here, that feels comfortable. As we have discussed, the mind will get distracted very easily. So the minute that the body starts feeling uncomfortable, and the mind is like, oh, I want to change this. So be intentional about finding whether that is on the chair or the cushion. Just see what feels right for you. Your back, if it's straight, that doesn't mean it's straight the same way that I have it, but whatever it means. For your body to allow the breath to flow easily in and out. Your knees to be comfortable. Your feet, you're not getting numb in the middle of the session. And if you need to adjust the position that you choose, it's okay to do so. The first request that I made is to make this as easy and as comfortable as it can be for you. And intentionally we close the eyes or gaze down, whatever feels right for you. You also find out, does it feel better to close the eyes completely or just softly looking down? Taking a moment to notice the body just as it is in the position that you have chosen. Aware that this body is breathing. Aware of the room that we're occupying. Your space. Noticing your back and your hands. And just noticing with a gentle scanning from head to toes, making sure that you're at ease. Bringing your full awareness now to the tip of your nose. And gently moving towards the mustache area, sensing the air is coming in and out through your lungs. Being curious about the temperature of the air. It's okay if you don't notice it, but just inquiring, is the air warm or cold or neutral? Noticing if you can feel any sensations in your upper lip as you breathe in and out. See if you can notice the sensation inside your nostrils as the air goes in, caressing you. Noticing if you can smell or sense anything as you breathe in. And following your inhalation, noticing the path as it goes through your nose, into your lungs. Just witnessing. Sometimes there's a slightly movement as the air comes in through the lungs, and see if you can notice any movement, perhaps on your shoulders, your upper chest, or your abdomen. Following the breath from the beginning, right as it enters through the nose, and see where it goes. Where does it rest? Does it rest around your chest, around your abdomen? And noticing the exhalation. As you breathe in, the whole body expands, and as you breathe out, it collapses. Just a little bit. Very gentle movement. But does it feel more pleasant as you breathe in or as you breathe out? Aware of any gentle movement you may sense, or just simply recognizing that your entire body moves in and sways like kelp in the ocean, very gently with each breath. With each inhalation, we're breathing new life, new beginnings into this body, renewing energy. And with each exhalation, we're releasing all the stress, the headaches, the hardships, just letting go. There's no need to try hard. Just simply aware that you're here, that we're here, breathing. There's no right or wrong. Just aware that the body is seated here, breathing here. And aware that the mind will get distracted and will be remembering or planning. It's natural. Simply come back over and over, following the breath. Let's do it together in silence. If it works for you, you can follow each inhalation by counting 1 up to 5, beginning with 1 again, over and over. And if you notice that your mind is wandering away and not counting or following the breath, then simply start with 1. Or if you choose to simply notice that you're breathing in and out, you can simply label breathing in and out. Just try and see which one works for you. Together in silence now. Well, where's the mind now? Is it here? Or has it wandered away? Thank you. At your own pace, you can move your body, and if you need to use a stretch, please do so. If you need to get some water, we'll take a 5-minute break right now, and then come back for sharing and questions and answers.
Ring the bell?
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome back. So if you're new, that it's past 30 minutes, sitting with us probably a big stretch.
Yeah.
And intentionally, the last 15 minutes were in silence. Because when there is like this intentional silence, there's like more chatting, more conversations that happen. So, yeah, we wanted to leave this space now to see if you have any questions, so that we can learn from each other. So sometimes we're shy by thinking, oh, I'm the only one who asked this question, or we think that somebody else will ask. So please don't be shy. We learn from each other. One of the reasons why I like teaching this course is because there's no advanced level. We're always beginners. We're always learning, even if we know and read a lot. Like when we actually sit and incorporate everything that we have heard or read, it's when like more questions come and we learn again over and over something new.
I found it elusive.
Yeah.
Trying to be still.
You found it?
Elusive. Every time I found something, peace, something would pop in my head or something. Brief second, then I go back, kept starting over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, just like that. That's what we call it, a practice. It's starting over again. Every moment is a new year. We have a New Year's resolution, right? Every moment is a New Year's resolution. So you start again.
I was just going to say Stephanie had a comment.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi, yes. So I find it difficult, I guess challenging, when, like during the guided meditation, I'm told to, or invited to pay attention to our breath. I find myself when I try to notice my breath, I either try to manipulate it to what I think it should be, instead of noticing it as it is. I think just as John Barker said, it comes with practice of being able to notice the natural breath. But that's something that I noticed today, and I'm very grateful for, because it's something that I could, focus on in future practice, is just paying attention to the natural breath versus, trying to take in that deep breath when told, or invited to take it, to pay attention or focus on the breath.
Thank you. We offer the guidance, just suggesting ideas for you to train the mind to stay connected with the breath. But certainly for each of us, it may be a little bit different. And sometimes following the breath or noticing the breath is not comfortable. So, you can simply notice the sounds or just be aware that you're here. There's just different ways that we invite you to practice, but at the end is you figure out what feels right for you, as long as that you're not forcing it. That you're not like, I gotta get it right, or I gotta notice the breath where she's telling me in the chest or the abdomen. Let go the ideas or the prescriptions, the suggestions that we're giving. Just simply, what's your own natural rhythm? Not forcing the body. Already knows that you're breathing, already knows how to do it, like it's doing it all the time. And we're simply saying like, be aware that you're breathing. Notice that you're breathing, and without pushing it, forcing it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to add, as you were saying that, I did notice as I was doing the meditation that I was able to not just feel but hear the pulse of my heart, which I thought was just so beautiful, because I felt it in the back of my throat, I mean, even on the tongue. So to kind of like sense, you know, even a taste of your pulse. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was a wonderful experience to feel and hear my own pulse.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It's there. Thank you for sharing.
Anyone else have anything to share? For those who this was first time no meditation experience, how was 25 minutes of sitting and doing nothing? How was that for you? Was it challenging, easy, boring, exciting?
So it was 25 minutes, is that what it was?
A little more than almost 30.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
It went very quickly. I didn't know how much time was passing,
Okay.
so that's.
I didn't know how long we were going to be meditating, so I kept thinking, did she fall asleep?
Well, it's wonderful, right? So like, no, but that's a part of like this awareness or mindfulness that we talk is like noticing what is the mind thinking? Oh, this mind is having doubts. Just be aware, totally.
I was hearing a lot of cars.
Yeah, that's awareness, right? What's going on here? Part of the meditation was like, just notice the room. You don't have to see it, but be aware. This is where I am right now. And so even aware, like, wow, this mind is really busy. This is really busy. It's like, okay, I know that I'm busy. This mind is busy right now, but I'm here trying to take it easy right now. So it's not right or wrong. It's just whatever is happening, we're aware, and then decided what I want to do with this beautiful mind that has awareness. Like, how do I teach this mind? Oh, okay. See how busy you are. Look at all those ideas that you have, but now come here.
Yeah, even the mindfulness of the breath, mindfulness of fear, mindfulness of doubt, mindfulness of discouragement, all just opportunities to look. And we look without judging, and without our habit of adding another concept. And, oh, this is that. Oh, that is this. Just notice. Just notice. So we're going to do a short meditation before we close. But I wanted to talk really briefly about the posture, because I noticed some of us look like we were kind of uncomfortable. So, in the Buddhist scriptures, they talk about the 4 postures: sitting, standing, walking, and lying down of meditation. So we don't have to be like the standard what we see. This is good. This is good posture. There's a lot of meaning in this. But we can be on a chair. We can be lying down even if that's what's necessary because of a physical condition. Standing up is good too. So when you're sitting, if you find some tension, some discomfort, allow yourself to stand up and maintain the presence and the mindfulness until you feel that you want to sit down again. As well, somebody else says, we're harmonizing the body and mind, so we're listening to the body, what it needs. So we don't want to push it and force it. We say not too tight and not too loose. So we're really mindful of that. And we also say we're finding a posture that's we're deeply relaxed but wide awake as well. So we're noticing. So this is like your standard, right, meditation posture. This is a half lotus posture. There's a full lotus. If it's your first time, please don't do that. But there's also this one. We can sit this way, the leg out here. This is a more relaxed posture. There's some benches Zen, from the Zen tradition. There's some benches where we can sit. You can use to sit, or you can use your cushion, put it behind you, behind your legs here, and sit this way. I think like, well, no, somebody else sitting traditionally. You can sit this way as well, you know, or without the cushion. Sit like this, if that's more comfortable for you, you know. So what we're really trying to do is, we want the spine to sit just naturally, you know, and so we can just sit and rest naturally. So if we're tense,
right?
pardon me? Straight, yeah, straight. It's so sometimes, you know, if we're sitting, you know, this is kind of really what we want if we're sitting in this way, for the knees to rest on the ground. So if they're up like this, that's okay, because we haven't practiced, you know, we have to develop that flexibility. So it's better, if we do want to sit this way, if we can put some pillows underneath our knees to hold up, so please ask for a cushion, or you can bring this leg down this way, you know. So don't force anything. Don't say, I have to meditate in this way because that's what that guy looks like, or that's what that person looks like. No, just find your posture, but as Joey said, it's important to have a straight spine that supports our practice, supports the meditation, you know. So please keep that in mind. So just a few minutes here, we'll sit and wrap it up.
So thank you. If you want to continue practicing, the next group will start at 3 o'clock. You can just stay where you are, take a break. It's a great group, mostly silence, and the teacher is here already, Tim. He gives an awesome Dharma reflection talk also. So yeah, I hope you stay. And if you received an email yesterday or this morning, there's a lot of material that we share with you there. We're going to continue sharing. Just review it. There is some information more about sitting posture, about the right mind and attitude for meditating. So please do so, and we'll follow up with another email for instructions for the group practice. Thank you. See you next Sunday.
Yeah, and before you run out of here, I see you want to run out of here already. You can run out of here, but mindfulness. As you run out, be mindful. Step, sound, door, you know. For those of you who have a meditation practice, continue this week with your meditation practice, whatever time you allow yourself. For the first timers here, I know 25 minutes. We did a lot of sitting today. It might have been a challenging time, but you did it, man. You did it. Good for you, you know. So this week, don't push yourself. You know, I recommend 5 minutes or a few minutes. You know, 5 minutes this week in the morning as soon as you get up. Oh yeah, I paid for that course. I should take advantage of that. You know, so 5 minutes, just mindful with the instructions that Rosa Maria gave. The attention on the breath, the body, perhaps. What your intention is for the day. Just mindfulness, presence, you know, for 5 minutes. If you want to extend it, that's fine too. But don't push yourselves. You know, we don't want to create something that we have resistance to. We're like, I don't want to do that. That was a struggle. And so we want something that you know we end and we're like, wow, that was kind of cool. And then we want to come back to it again. You know, in my tradition, we say short moments many times. So doesn't mean just 5 minutes in the morning. You can go 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at lunch, 5 minutes before you go to bed. You know, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you.